So thank you and everybody here at Boise State. This is our first opportunity to come up. We just left the players. We had a player gift suite. We thought we'd do something different coming to the campuses. And so it was set up. The kids came through. It seemed to be excited, seemed to have a great time doing it. And so for us, it was a great success. And hopefully the kids and the team enjoyed that. So, Mark, again, thank you, Kurt, everyone, for making us feel welcome. And we are going to return the favor here in a few days when you all come back to Las Vegas. So thank you.
What was the gift suite?
The gift suite is just an opportunity for the team to go through and pick out some gifts, some electronics. There was some recliners they had a choice of. I think a bike was a popular item. But just the boys can go through, or the team can go through, and they can decide what they would like. They had a choice to pick some items. And so, you know, it was the Beats headphones or some of the items, a DVR. There was a nice selection. So, again, I think the team enjoyed it, and they picked out some good stuff.
You said a bike was a popular item?
A bike was a popular item, yeah.
For bowl gifts?
Yeah, I think it was. In fact, this one, I don't think it was on our original list. And then a bike showed up, and it turned out to be one of the better items that they liked. So it's one of those mountain bike, and it seemed to be great. So,
what's the value that they get?
I don't know the exact amount. $350, yeah, I think is the amount that they're allowed to have.
Is it all gift suite, or is there a couple things in addition to that, or just pick your things and that's it?
Yeah, it just pick your things, okay. And then they'll be shipped back here to the school, and then the kids can pick them up. So it's great.
Any idea on the ticket sales, how those have been? Any sort of update on that?
Locally, you know, we've got about 3,000 tickets left locally. You know, each of the schools have 11,000 seats. You know, Mark and them can probably at some point give you a better idea. Washington sales were going fairly well. You know, we were just up there prior to coming here. So I think they're on track. You know, they're pleased with what it is. And, you know, one of the things also with both programs, you have such great fan base and an alumni association. So we're hoping that as it gets closer, that people will look at it. You also are playing a basketball game the following day. So, you know, you can get a sports weekend, so to speak, in Las Vegas for Boise State fans. So we hope you come down. Keep in mind that our football game is at 12:30 on Saturday. It's the first time in 10 years it's a day game. We hope the weather is great. When we left the other day, it was 70 and sunny. So we're hoping that holds. I don't know if it will, but I don't think it's going to be how it was 2 years ago when you first came, and it was rainy and cold. And so we're hoping we have some good weather for you.
What is how many tickets do you guys have for this game? Is it 40,000 or?
The capacity is 35,000, and I think 38,000, 35,000, and then I think with temporary seating, there was a record one year of over 40, but I don't think we would have that much seating in there this year. So it's 35,000 is the official, and then so we're hoping that if both schools can sell a lot, and what we sell locally, that we're going to have a nice crowd.
Mark, do you have any idea what you guys are at ticket-wise?
You know, I know last year we were over that 4,100 mark, and this year we're tracking over 3,100 right now that we'll utilize. You know, and obviously we've got a lot of pushes going with our, you know, with our season ticket holders. We started a public sale last week as well. So again, we know the Bronco Nation, Las Vegas has been a great destination for our fans, and as Dan mentioned, we've got a basketball game the next day. You know, we're encouraging our fans to buy tickets, obviously, for the bowl game and then stay over for that basketball game on Sunday and come back and make a sports weekend of it. Because, again, Las Vegas, you know, when we were down there last week, you know, they have rolled out the red carpet for us, and again, we know the Bronco Nation will respond.
Last year, the deal with the Mountain West, I think, was you guys had to sell $225,000 worth of tickets to break even, basically. Is it the same kind of setup this year, or do they do it different this year?
I was in Kentucky last year, so if you remember, so I'm not sure the exact figure how that all works out or whatever. But
same idea this year, though?
I think so, yeah, but I can't confirm that. So.
Okay. I know that was sort of the transition for you last year, but how did you guys do financially on the trip last year?
My understanding is everything went well last year with the bowl game, you know, and obviously, you know, Kurt Apps has been working hard with Nikki on that, and they continue to monitor that from that standpoint.
Dan, was there any concern that, you know, being a third straight trip, Boise State fans may not, you know, come out en masse for this game?
You know, there was discussion, but it really wasn't much of a factor, obviously, when we still invited them. I think people need to realize that, you know, we had the first choice in the Mountain West, and we had other choices. And we chose Boise State. There was a lot of discussion about the other choices we had, and I hope the Bronco Nation realizes that. So even though you've been there 2 years in a row, you do have a fantastic fan base, and you've got a great program. And so even having the choices we had in first choice, we decided that Boise State would be great for us again, for the city, for the game itself, and the matchup, I think, is going to be one of the best ones during the bowl season. ESPN will be televising it. They're sending their A team with Musburger and Herbstreit, so they obviously feel it's going to be a good matchup and have some good viewership. So I just want to make the point that Boise State had been on the top of our list, and knowing it would have been a third straight trip, but we had that choice, first choice, and we chose Boise. And it's such a great program.
There from all three parties, I guess, in terms of the fact that Boise State plays at Washington Open next year.
How much hesitation?
Yeah, did that come into
for the committee and for our group? I can say that it was a discussion point, but you know, we're worried about our bowl game and a matchup for our bowl game, and I realize that both teams will play first game of the season next year. But it wasn't much of a factor, obviously, a negative. We viewed it, if anything, as a positive, that you will be playing the first game next year. And so now this is, if you want to call it a preview or however you want to view it, but for our game, once again, which is what we have to do, pick the best teams, that's why we chose Boise and Washington.
Mark, were there any thoughts from Boise State side?
Yeah, you know, I think, you know, our thought, obviously we do play Washington. They come back down here in 2015. And, you know, I think the bowl games are such a nice reward for your student athletes. And I think you want to play at a high level. And obviously when you play the University of Washington on the Pac-12, you're playing at a high level. So I think, you know, we, you know, in conversations with Dan and others are excited about that matchup and don't have any reservations from that standpoint.
Mark, you said there were 4,100 tickets sold last year through Boise State, and there were over 3 times that many Boise State fans there. So you're really trying to push this year fans buying through the school. An extra effort this year compared to the past?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, similar to what we've done in the past, you know, and the key with that, and Dan could talk to this, you know, obviously when Bulls look at you, part of the reason why Las Vegas is attracted to it is because we do have such a strong following, you know, and I think when you move forward and you go to different bowl games in the future, you know, it's always a nice story to tell that you have a high number of tickets sold, because obviously that helps the bowl games from that standpoint. So again, you know, we encourage all of our fans to go through the Bronco ticket office, get their tickets, and it kind of continues to add to the story that's already been written here about Boise State and the strength of the Bronco Nation.
Can I follow up on that one a little bit? I mean, yes, you would certainly encourage people to buy through the school, but there's no doubt there's a sophistication and a popularity in these secondary ticket markets. Going forward for MAACO Bowl or any bowl, can you give us some perspective on how you kind of address that people are going to find the best ticket at the best price, and it may or may not be through the school?
Yeah, and you know, I think one way schools kind of looked at it is as you know, we get ready to implement a priority point system moving forward for next year, and you assign priority points, you know, for bowl ticket purchases and things like that. But obviously the secondary market at any game, you know, there's high volume on those things, and something you have to, you know, constantly watch and monitor. But again, you all were down in Las Vegas last year, and you saw how many fans we had down there, and you know, as you know, they get down to the Bronco Nation knows how to get tickets. They know how to get down there from that.
For lack of a better term, though, you don't get credit for those that are sold on the secondary market.
That's correct. We get credit what's sold through our ticket office. That's correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that a problem?
No, you know, I mean, I think it's an opportunity for everybody across the country that faces that. But again, you know, we're just encouraging our fans to go through our ticket office like we have done in the past to get those tickets. And again, that just adds to our story, and we can talk about how many tickets we've sold to our bowls that we've gone to from that standpoint.
Dave, you notice who's there though when you look out in the stands. And
Sure.
You see that there's more than 4,100 of.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, yeah. But you know, we have when we pick the team, they have an allotment, and you know, we want to sell tickets, and so obviously we would think the Bronco fans would go through the school, but there are other avenues and ways to get tickets. But I would encourage Bronco fans to go through the school, and we just want them sold, and we want people out there. And yes, you can certainly tell. In the last 2 years, you know, there's been a lot of blue and orange in that stadium, and we expect it's going to be the same this year. And I know there's going to be a lot of purple and gold. So I think that's a point to be made. And when we sit there as the bowl itself and we see all those colors, it's fantastic. And So that's kind of the way we approach it with the local market. You know, our fans have the opportunity to go watch University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and unfortunately, the last few years they haven't had the success that the Broncos have. But they're trying and they're working hard to get there, and they've got a coach I think is going to get them there. But you know, they when you go to one of their games, you know, you see some black and red, but you see a lot of empty seats, and we want people to come out in Las Vegas to see once again 2 quality programs and see all the colors and the excitement that college football is. And so we think we're going to have a good turnout. We hope we will, and see all those colors, and I think it's great for us, for the city.
Dan, how long are your contract agreements with the Pac-12 and the Mountain West? And given that the Mountain West won't have the team you've taken the last 8 years, moving forward, is there any thought of maybe signing with the Big East or
Well, that's going to be a lot of discussions. It runs through next year, and then there'll be a lot of discussions, I'm sure, with the current conferences that we have, and then maybe other conferences. But I got to tell you, just in the short time that I've been here, that both conferences, the Mountain West and the Pac-12, have been fantastic. And, you know, I don't see any big changes coming along that line, at least for our bowl. But, you know, there's other people involved in those decisions that there might be other things behind the scenes that I wouldn't know about. But I can tell you that the history has been very favorable for both conferences with us. And so I don't see any reason why I wouldn't go forward. And just because Boise State at this point might possibly be leaving, you know, that was another discussion point, but again, it really wasn't. You know, that's something that Mark would have to talk to. But you know, for our game, the Mountain West and Pac-12 is our alignment through next year, and then I'm sure those discussions will start at some point.
Mark, can you talk about the words "might possibly"?
Hey, we guys gonna do some one-on-ones. Dan's gonna be here for a little bit. We've got 10 or 15 minutes.